they seldom see what their future can be. They don't have a vision of what that could look like. And so they feel like they're stuck where they are. But I'm on the outside. I see their potential. I see their talents. I see their skills. Whereas often we're held back by our own limiting beliefs, our own self-doubt, our own thoughts about our past, and the fact that this is all where we are and I don't want to be here. We have a hard time breaking free and creating a vision of what we want to be.
Welcome to the Free Lawyer Podcast. I'm your host, Gary Miles. The Free Lawyer Podcast is designed for the lawyer, entrepreneur, or professional who is in some way unfulfilled, stressed, or stuck and is looking for something better. We will discuss various blocks that limit us from achieving the personal freedom that we all desire but have not yet fully experienced. And we will give actionable steps to free yourself from them. Are you looking to achieve a new level of success? If so, this podcast is for you.
Hey everyone, thank you for joining me here today for today's episode of The Free Lawyer. And appreciate each and every one of you. If you haven't already done so, I would love it if you'd leave me a rating and review. Helps so much to have the podcast seen by other people. And I really, really would appreciate it. So many of you say, what can I do to support you? Boy, that would be a nice thing, and I'd really appreciate it. Today, we're going to talk about change and how difficult it is, but yet it's so important to grow in our careers. And change often makes us very uncomfortable, doesn't it? So today, we're going to talk about how to transform our lives and our careers, find the career of our dreams, do what we love, do what we're passionate about, and getting out of that feeling of being stuck. So I like this quote from Wayne Dyer. Wayne Dyer is one of my favorite folks. I just love his messages, but I really love this quote. You are not stuck where you are unless you decide to be. You're not stuck where you are unless you decide to be. Do you ever feel stuck where you are? So many people tell me that. They're in a place they're not happy and they feel stuck. Are you ever frustrated with where you are in your career? Do you ever wish you were doing something different? And so what is it? What do you dream of doing professionally? If you had your wish and you had your dream, what would that look like? So many of us feel stuck. We dream of doing something different. We have a vision of transforming our lives in some way. But change is so scary, isn't it? In the dynamic world of the legal profession, change is inevitable. And it's really a driving force behind our progress and our innovation. But yet we resist change. We cling to our familiar routines and practices. And you may need to realize that embracing change is not just about keeping up with the times. It's about unlocking this transformative power that will propel your career to new heights, to a new place of success, fulfillment, and freedom. And you know how personal freedom is so important to me. I ask that question every one of my guest episodes. What is personal freedom? What does that look like to you? Because too many of us feel trapped. We feel like we're in a prison with what we're doing, and you're entitled to have the success and fulfillment and freedom in your career that you deserve. In this podcast, I'm going to explore the profound impact of embracing change in your career and how you can harness this power to achieve both personal and professional growth. So let's begin with this key question. Why should you embrace the transformative power of change? There are two main reasons: your professional growth and your personal fulfillment. Embracing change can create significant professional growth. By stepping outside of your comfort zone and embracing new challenges, you can expand your skills, your knowledge, and your expertise, ultimately advancing your career. All too often, we're unhappy with where we are professionally. Have you ever felt that way? Have you ever felt unhappy where you are? We may not like the kind of work we're doing. We may not like the people we're working with. We may not like the clients we represent. We may not like the amount of money we make. We really may not like our lack of independence and lack of autonomy, or something else about where we work. In some way, your career may not be satisfying to you. You want to grow, you want to do something different, but it's hard. You can grow professionally when you're open to the transformative power of change. You can develop the career you've always dreamed of. You don't have to be where you are doing what you're doing. You can be the successful lawyer you always dreamed of. You can have the practice that you find fulfilling and it makes you happy and satisfied. You can have the job that you love doing. Besides our professional growth, the second reason to embrace change is personal fulfillment. Taking control of your career and actively seeking new growth and development opportunities is so empowering. All too often, we find what we're doing professionally not fulfilling. We enter the field of law to be of service, to help our clients solve their problem, but somewhere along the way, we lost that focus, didn't we? What would you like to be doing? Who would you like to be representing? What would you find most fulfilling in the practice of law? What truly sets you on fire? If you are open to change, you can achieve both professional growth and personal fulfillment that you never thought possible. Overall, embracing the transformative power of change can lead to professional success, personal satisfaction, and a more effective legal practice. You know, my life, I've had 4 major transformations. And each of those has improved my life significantly, but each of those was scary. My first was becoming a trial lawyer. When I graduated from law school, I was blessed to be #1 in my law school class. And I secured a coveted position as a clerk in the United States District Court for the District of Maryland. It was an amazing experience. It's probably the most enjoyable professional year I've ever had. I could have gone with that graduation rank and clerking in federal court. I could have gone to any firm I chose. And almost all the other clerks went to big law. But I returned to the same small firm where I clerked in law school instead of one of the larger, more prestigious firms. And after being there for several years and passionately wanting to be a trial lawyer, I realized I was in the wrong place. So I made a decision to move. I secured a position in a highly regarded litigation boutique firm and moved there 3 years into my career. That was July 6, 1982, and I've been associated with that firm ever since. And I learned the fine points of trying a case successfully from one of the very best trial lawyers in the state of Maryland. As a result, my law career changed dramatically for the better. My second major transformation, and this is probably the biggest one, was getting sober in recovery. Sadly and unfortunately, early in my career, I was powerless over alcohol. I could not control when I drank or how much. I could not stop when I wanted to. I was genuinely powerless and affected my life in many terrible ways. After I had a powerfully sad experience at my son's birthday party, where I suffered an alcoholic blackout, I opened my mind to enter a program for recovery. I was full of fear and trepidation. But my life has never been the same since. You know, practicing law as an active alcoholic was a scary, sad, awful place to be. And I've now enjoyed over 32 years of continuous sobriety. But more than that, I've learned how to live life on life's terms, how to accept challenges, and how to live a life of patience, acceptance, and tolerance. My third transformation was to completely change the area of law in which I practiced. In the first 30 years of my career, I did almost exclusively litigation, insurance defense, and mainly in the transportation industry. So I defended truck drivers and trucking companies in very severe personal injury cases. I enjoyed it, and I was really good at what I did. but in some level, I felt it was not fulfilling. I represented my client because he had an insurance policy with a particular company. He often didn't want to cooperate. He didn't want to come to the trial. And I never knew him on a personal level. There was a certain emptiness and artificiality to it all. And I decided to do something more fulfilling and more personal, where I could seriously help someone improve their lives. And I decided to transform myself and to reinvent myself as a family law attorney. I started handling serious divorce and custody cases. I helped my clients walk through fear, anger, hurt, guilt, and uncertainty to create a life that brought them joy and satisfaction. And I received handwritten notes from my clients thanking me for my dedication and commitment to them. The work was personally fulfilling and professionally rewarding. And it was scary. I was in my low 50s when I decided to make that change. No, I was 55 when I made that change. Pretty scary to start practicing in a whole new area of law and start to seek out clients. But it was one of the best decisions I ever made. I loved doing family law. I loved helping my clients. And then after 45 years of practicing law, I changed what I did again. I became increasingly aware of how challenging our profession is. I saw the stress and overwhelm that so many lawyers experience. I saw some struggle with addiction, health problems, dissatisfaction, stress, anxiety. So I decided to become a mentor attorney to attorneys. After 45 years of doing insurance defense, litigation, and family law, I decided to change what I did. After arguing with lawyers for all those decades, it became my passion to wrap my arms around them and support them. I started my newsletter on LinkedIn, and I have over 3,200 subscribers. I began this podcast, The Free Lawyer, and I've now recorded 222 episodes. And I released my first book, Breaking Free, a guide to achieving personal and professional freedom as a lawyer. But most important of all, I began mentoring lawyers one-on-one. I can see their growth and change in my personalized and confidential coaching sessions. Individual coaching is, without doubt, the most fulfilling work I've ever done. You know, as I look back on my life, and I'm now going to be 70 in November, these 4 significant transformations demonstrate to me how powerful change can be. You know, I left my first law firm to pursue my dream of being a highly skilled trial attorney. I surrendered to my alcoholism and sought recovery, freeing me from the prison of addiction. I found a more fulfilling practice when I entered family law as my primary focus. And more recently, I've given back to the profession, and more than that, feel tremendous fulfillment by helping and supporting lawyers, helping them create a vision of success and achieving it. Why do I share these stories? You know, each of these changes was scary and difficult at the time. I felt a lot of fear about changing the course of my life. But each of those changes made my life more beautiful, more successful, and more fulfilling. But yet change is hard, isn't it? What are the biggest hurdles that might prevent a lawyer from embracing change? We all know change takes work. These are some of the most important roadblocks that many of us face that prevent us from taking that first step toward changing our careers and our lives. The first is fear of the unknown. Change often involves stepping into unfamiliar territory, which can be very daunting for us. Fear of the unknown can prevent you from taking the necessary risk to embrace change. Are you ever afraid of taking that first step towards change? 2, being comfortable with the status quo. Many lawyers become very comfortable with the status quo. They resist change because it disrupts their routine or challenges their existing beliefs and practices. You know, the status quo is an easy place to be. It's doing what we've always done, what we're very good at. And changing from that is difficult. It's so easy to stay in our comfort zone, isn't it? 3, risk aversion. We're all trained to mitigate risk, to avoid consequences, and you may see change as risky. And that risk aversion can lead you to resist change just to maintain the status quo. Do you ever hesitate to take risks? 4, overwhelm. The legal profession is very demanding, and lawyers often have super heavy workloads. The prospect of implementing change on top of all of our existing responsibilities can be so overwhelming, and it can lead you to resist change. How often do you feel overwhelmed at work? Lack of support. Without the support of colleagues, mentors, or leadership, it can be very daunting to embrace change. That lack of support can lead to feelings of isolation, confusion, or uncertainty, making it harder to embrace change. Do you ever feel isolated at work? Do you ever wish you had a mentor who could guide you through your career? So those are some of the roadblocks we face, of being afraid of the unknown, being afraid of taking that first step towards change, being comfortable with the status quo. So easy to stay in our comfort zone. Being afraid to take risks, feeling overwhelmed at work, feeling isolated and having no one to talk to. So how can we overcome that resistance to change? If there's something else we want to do, how do we get to the point where we're willing to take that step? Embracing change is so challenging, but there are several strategies you can use to navigate change effectively. First is to understand your fear. It's so important to acknowledge that fear exists. Understand it's a natural response to change, but it doesn't have to dictate your actions. Pinpoint what precisely about the change is causing fear. Is it fear of the unknown? Are you afraid of failing? Are you afraid of financial insecurity? Are you afraid of losing control? Are you afraid of being judged by other people for stepping down from the firm where you are and going somewhere else? Understanding the source of your fear can help you address it more effectively. 2, challenge your negative thoughts. Replace those negative thoughts with more positive and realistic ones. Instead of thinking about everything that might go wrong, focus on the potential benefits and opportunities that change can bring. Replace the negative thoughts with a vision of success. 3, self-reflection. You must be willing to engage in self-reflection and introspection to identify your resistance to change and work to overcome it. Be open to feedback. Be willing to make changes based on that feedback. Being self-aware of your feelings about the change will help you analyze why you hesitate and how to overcome your hesitancy. It's so important to take some time and think. What are you afraid of? What are your negative thoughts? What's your path? Where do you want to be? And then 4, develop a clear vision of your future. It's crucial to have a clear vision of the desired outcome of your change. What do you want to do? What do you want your future to be? How will that benefit you? Why does that goal create fulfillment and success for you? You should be able to clearly envision what your future looks like, what the benefits of that change are, and use that vision to motivate yourself. 5, stay positive. Maintain a positive attitude towards your change and view it as an opportunity for growth and development. You'll face challenges. You may judge yourself. You'll hesitate to move forward, but a positive attitude can help you approach change with curiosity and optimism. 6, and this is so important, practice self-care. Taking care of your physical and emotional well-being will help you manage the stress and anxiety that comes from choosing to make change. Make time for activities that help you relax and recharge. If you're mentally strong and physically healthy and well-nourished and you sleep well, you will be able to manage the stresses that go along with your new course of action much, much better. 7, focus on what you can control. Too often we worry about things we can't control. And some aspects of your new life may be beyond your control. but focus on what you can control. And this would include your attitude, your approach, and your efforts to bring about the change. And 8, seek support. Talk to colleagues or friends who've experienced with similar changes. Their insights and advice will help you feel more confident and less alone in facing changes. And even better, use an outside mentor who has experienced similar changes and can guide you. Your mentor can help you clarify your vision, build confidence, overcome resistance, and help you achieve your goals. By taking these steps, you can overcome fear and resistance to change and embrace new opportunities for growth, success, and fulfillment. So these are your 8 steps. Understand your fear. What are you afraid of when you think about making a change? 2, challenge your negative thoughts and replace them with positive thoughts. Self-reflect on where you are, how you feel, and what's going on. Develop that clear, powerful vision of your future. It'll help to motivate you. Stay positive. Take care of yourself and practice self-care. Focus on what you have power over and you can control, and obtain support from a friend, a colleague, or a mentor. And I know I've worked with a lot of different lawyers, and often they're trying to get to somewhere different, something they'll find fulfilling. And it can be very helpful to have a guide who can support you, encourage you, and lay out a plan for your future. You know, you can have the practice of your dreams. You can enjoy success, fulfillment, and personal freedom. If you want more from the practice of law, but you're afraid to go for it, please understand that you have the power and the capability to transform your career and your life. You deserve the very, very best. Embracing the transformative power of change, it's not about adapting to new circumstances. It's about embracing growth and seizing opportunities for personal and professional development. You know, as lawyers, we're no strangers to change, but by approaching it with an open mind and a willingness to learn, we can not only navigate this change effectively, but also thrive in the face of it. So let's embrace change as a catalyst for transformation and the journey of growth and discovery and success that it brings. You know, I laid out the 4 major transformations of my life, and every one of them was scary. Every one of them was unknown, but every one of them was instrumental in getting me to a place where I was happier and more satisfied and more fulfilled. So I would encourage you to think about, what is it you want your life to look like? What is it you want to be doing in the practice of law? What will set you on fire? What does it take to get there? What's holding you back? What are the obstacles? Those are some questions to think about. But so often, it's hard to get there on your own. You know, with the clients I've mentored, some amazing young attorneys, and they seldom see what their future can be. They don't have a vision of what that could look like. And so they feel like they're stuck where they are. But I'm on the outside. I see their potential. I see their talents. I see their skills. Whereas often we're held back by our own limiting beliefs, our own self-doubt, our own thoughts about our past, and the fact that this is all where we are and I don't want to be here. We have a hard time breaking free and creating a vision of what we want to be and how to get there. So I would encourage you to think about using a mentor to help process where you are and where you want to be, to check your values and see what's important to you. And if you ever want to talk about how I can support you in developing the law career of your dreams, I would love to connect with you. I'll put a link in the show notes where you can reach out to me, or you can go to my website, GaryMiles.net, and schedule a call there. I hope that you guys have a great rest of your day and rest of your week. I want you to think about what you want your life to look like and make a decision to go after it. You deserve it. So have a great day. Thank you so much for being here. And as always, please be well, be safe, and be free.
Thank you so much for listening to today's episode of the Free Lawyer Podcast. Wherever you are listening, if you enjoyed what I shared, please leave me a rating and review. I would appreciate hearing more about what you like best and what topics you might like me to cover in future episodes. If you are interested in experiencing a more fulfilling and a more successful life, please contact me at www.GaryMiles.net, where you can schedule a free discovery call with me so I can learn more about you, your challenges, and your dreams. I appreciate each and every one of you and have a great rest of your day. Thanks to all of you for your support.